going on, guys? Today I'm going to talk to you about Google Stadia. So if you're looking for an audio review or anything like that, sorry, this video probably isn't for you, but if you want to kind of know my thoughts on Google Stadia and just kind of get a little bit of overview on what the service is going to offer, that's what this video is going to be about. And like I said, just give you a couple of my thoughts, just things that are going on in my head, because as of the recording of this video, Stadia will actually be available next week, and I'm honestly not sure if I'm excited for it or not. I don't know. It's weird. I'll get into it though. I'll get into it. So first of all, there's going to be two different subscription options. One of them is going to be free, so you don't get any of the perks like free games, things like that. It's basically just access to the service, which is awesome that they give that to you for free. So I do got to give them props for that. The other one is a pro version, because everything has to be pro nowadays. But for the pro version, it's going to be $10 a month. You will get free games every month, and I'm kind of thinking more like a PlayStation Plus type deal where there's, 2 free games or whatever every single month that you can download, or I guess Stadia you don't download, you just play. If you get the pro version, you will also get a copy of Destiny 2. Chances are you probably already have it. If you don't, Destiny 1 for me was an okay game. I haven't played the second one yet. I don't know, the first one just didn't really do it for me, so it didn't really make me want to play part 2. That's just me though. You can get up to 4K streaming on the pro version. If you go with the free version, you get up to 1080p, which is still good for most people, I think. I'm sure that a lot of people are getting the 4K TVs, especially with all the sales and stuff. Shit, I got my 4K TV for under $200. So, I mean, it's not like they're insanely expensive like they used to be. So, but if you go with the free version, you're limited to 1080 no matter what your internet speed is, and I'll get to that in a little bit too. You do get 5.1 surround sound in your games if you go with the pro version. If you go with the free version, it's just going to be your basic stereo sound. And both of them cap out at 60 frames per second on the video. So it doesn't matter what your internet speed is, or I guess it doesn't matter what you pay for the service. You're getting 60 frames per second no matter what. So outside of the games that the pro version gives you for free, you do have to pay for all your games, and there's a short list of games that will be available at launch. I don't remember them all off the top of my head, but I'll put a link in the video description, and it'll tell you the games. The ones that pop out to me are Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I think Borderlands 3 was on there. The new Watch Dogs game, which anyway. And there's a few other ones that I'm forgetting, but those are the ones that I remembered. Like I said, I'll put a link to the full game list in the description below, so if you want to see that, go ahead and check that out. I know when this was announced, it was more of like kind of like a Netflix for gamers, and I don't really see it. It's not really going to be that, for me at least. Because Netflix, you pay your monthly subscription or whatever, and then you can watch whatever the hell you want for however long you pay for your subscription. With Stadia, you're actually going to have to buy the games that you want. So this can be good for someone that doesn't already have a decent gaming PC, or even a decent console, PS4 or Xbox One. This could be good for them because they won't already have these games. If you already play PC games, this may not really be that great of a value to you, just because you'll have to rebuy the games that chances are you may already have anyways. So for me, I'm not really, I don't know about that. And I have more thoughts about the service as a whole in a little bit. So your minimum recommended download speed is 10 megabits per second. If you are right around there, your video is going to be 720. You're not going to get up to the 1080 no matter if you can get that in the base package or not. It's going to be capped at 720. If you can get to 20 megabits per second download on your internet connection, you can get your 1080p video. If that is your cap, then that's 1080p is as far as you're going to get. I don't care if you pay the $10 a month. 1080p is as much as you're going to get. And then at, I believe it's 30 megabits a second, 35 megabits a second, then you can start streaming 4K games. For me, this is good. I have decent download speeds where I live, so that is actually kind of nice, just because if I do end up deciding to pay for this, I will get to use my 4K TV to play video games on. My computer isn't robust enough to play 4K on, and I don't have a PlayStation 4 Pro or anything like that, so I can't play 4K there either. So that is a plus for someone like me that doesn't have the equipment to be able to play 4K games natively right now. So that'll be nice. One thing I do have to remind you guys about is if you do end up getting Stadia, please check with your service provider to see if you have any data caps on your internet service, because you gotta remember, you're gonna be streaming video games, and if you do have a higher speed internet connection, they're gonna be streamed in 4K. I'm sure there's gonna be a setting to where you can actually limit that to 1080 if you really wanted to. But if you're gonna do that, don't pay the $10, I guess, unless you want the free games. But check with your internet service provider. Make sure that your data is not capped. That way you don't blow through your data the first 2 or 3 days that you start playing games. Just something to think about. If you haven't signed up for Stadia, maybe you might want to call them before you do that, before it actually releases on the 19th. So going back into me being able to stream 4K games. This service is actually, I think, built more for people like that, I think. People that don't have nice gaming rigs, they don't have 4K monitors, stuff like that. They play console, or even they're still playing PS3 or Xbox 360 or whatever. I think it's more geared for people like that, in my eyes anyways. So if you're one of those people that wants to play the new AAA games and you want to play them in 4K, you might want to take a look at Stadia, take a little bit closer look at it. If you already have a nice library of PC games, you may want to just, I'd say, go with the free version at first, just to see if it's something that you even want, and then kind of go from there, and then pay the $10 a month if it is something that you want. Just because I have a feeling that you may be disappointed just because you have to pay for your games again, possibly. So just something to think about, really. And well, another thing that I was thinking about, I guess, is if there was a way where you could link your Google account or your Stadia account, I'm not sure how they're handling that, but if you could link your Stadia account with your Steam library, then that would be, honestly, that would be worth it for someone like me. I have a decent Steam library, and it would be awesome if I don't have to pay for those games again just to play them on Stadia. Part of the appeal of playing them on Stadia is I could play them on my TV, and then I can grab my cell phone and then play on my cell phone if I'm going somewhere, or play on my laptop, just continue my game anywhere that I am. And I know I could do that with just connect a PC to my TV or whatever, but it's just ease of use. And then on top of that, you don't have to pay for the storage, or you don't have to find a way to store your games locally. They're all hosted on Google's cloud. That'd be awesome if you could link somehow, some way, if you could link your Steam account with your Stadia account. That would be fantastic. The one other thing, and then I'm gonna go, because I really don't want this video to be too long, but the one other thing that really sticks in my head is Google doesn't like to stick with things. They like to try things, and then they like to dump it and then try something else. And we have a track record of things that Google just hasn't stuck with. Hangouts is one. Allo is another one. I don't know if in the back of my mind I will ever stop thinking that Google eventually will just cut tail and run on Stadia. And if that happens, what happens to the games that you purchase? What happens to, because I'm sure they're going to be $60. And yeah, if you do, I didn't say this earlier, but if you do pay for the Pro, you do get a certain discount on some of the games, or all of the games. I'm not sure, but I know you do get a discount on games. But will that even matter if you pay $30 for a AAA title that's normally $60 and Google just takes off on you? I mean, what happens to your game? Do you get a credit on your account? Do you get that game in Steam? Do you get... So many questions that I don't think will ever be answered until they're answered, until the time comes. You know what I mean? And that worries me about actually paying for games to play on Stadia. I'd much rather pay for games on Steam, and yes, Steam has had their issues with publishers or whatever pulling out, and that happens not a lot, but it does happen. I have very little faith that in a year or 2 years or whenever the hell Google feels like it, they're going to pull the plug and then take off, and then the rest of us are going to be with our thumbs up our butts wondering what the hell happened to all our money that we just spent on all our games for Stadia. I hope that don't ever happen, but there will always be a part of me that it'll eat at me. If I ever decide to pay for Stadia, or if I ever decide to pay for a game on Stadia, it will eat at me wondering, will I have this game forever? Will Google decide to cut its losses at some point and take off and then leave everybody high and dry? That's my biggest question, is what happens if Google decides to take off? I know they ain't gonna go out of business, but what happens if they decide to pull the plug on Stadia? What happens to your money? What happens to my money? You know what I mean? And that's one thing that would make me stop from playing Stadia. It might not stop a lot of people, but that's a big wonder for me, because for a lot of people, I think $60 is a lot of money for a video game. And I can't afford to throw away $60 on a video game if I'm basically just renting it, and it's gonna go away eventually. Anyways, I'm rambling now. I think you get the point. That actually does it for today's video. I will probably be back with an audio review of some sort soon. I have a whole bunch of stuff to review, so yeah, if you're looking for an audio review, stick around, because I do got more coming. Until then, I'm out. Later.